Howdy, HL, it's Miss Kosh. This worksheet that I want you to do, I want to give you kind of an intro to it and tell you what I'm looking for and tell you why we're doing this. This is going to give you more practice working with your trig identities, and that's the whole point of it. But also, it gets us to a place where there's some, I call them obscure trig identities, and so you can look up like the product. I think there's the product to sum. I should have looked this up before I started the video. Sorry. And then there's the sum to product. Well, that's funny. No, my pen doesn't want to work. Well, that's unfortunate. I thought I discharged it. Let's see if it likes me now. Okay, the sum to product. So go Google those, or maybe I'll have found them and posted them for you. But they're weird identities that you don't need to have memorized. They don't give them to you on your formula booklet, but sometimes they become important with these induction problems. And so this is what we're going to kind of start generating. So with this one, you're doing 2 sine of, and this is an alpha plus beta over 2 times sine of alpha minus beta over 2. And so all of these deal with, you've got 2 angles that are being added together or 2 angles that are being subtracted from each other, and then what happens when you do different things. So so if it's 2 times sine of, so this one, I forget what it ends up equaling, but you could divide the 2 to the other side if you want to just have sine of alpha plus beta over 2 and then sine of alpha minus beta over 2. To be honest with you, the ones at the beginning are more challenging. So I think I recommended that you start with number 5 first, or 7. Actually, work backwards. I think if you start with 7 and go backwards, you start building your skill and you're not jumping into the hardest one first. I think 1 through 4 were more challenging. So on this one, what we're looking at is we're trying to find an identity that lets us work with cosine of alpha minus beta minus cosine of alpha plus beta, all divided by 2. Okay, so when we know how we have the sum and difference formulas, so we can expand this out to be something like cosine, and then this is the opposite, SIGN, sine, and this part right here, this part came from here, and then we would subtract away the rest of it. And I don't want to do the work for you. I want to see if you can do it yourself. But everything comes down to nice, pretty answers. I think I have it on this page. So it comes down to something like cosine beta minus cosine alpha, or it equals sine alpha minus sine beta. They all work out, if you notice, they all work out relatively nicely. But try and see what you can do. See if you can get down to some relationship between sine of alpha, cosine of alpha, sine of beta, cosine of beta. But go struggle through it before you look at my answer key. All right, good luck.